family in Dannhauser in KwaZulu-Natal is accusing Ikwezi mining company of conducting work on their land without their consent. The Mavimbelas say the company has continued drilling despite their repeated requests for them to stop. Now, Newzroom Afrika has reached out to Ikwezi Mining on numerous occasions. Our producer here in the office has done so, only to be told that Ikwezi Mining would only be speaking to our reporter on the scene, Silethiwe Ndlovu. Ndlovu, our reporter, has also sent a list of questions via email. She's also spoken to Ikwezi Mining on the phone, and we have yet to have any response from the mining company. But let's bring in now Professor Sonwabile Mnwana. He's a professor of development studies at Rhodes University, and he joins us now live. Prof, thanks very much indeed for your time. Is this how it works, Prof? And you've got this document in front of you as well. A notification of core drilling activities for geological exploration. This is the letter that was given to the Mavimbela family with an Ikwezi Mining letterhead, effectively notifying that work would be done on their land. Does this make sense to you, Prof?
Well, I've just seen the letter, and I don't have the other specific details of the case. But if the community has not been properly consulted up to this point, it would be shocking. Because from the brief research I've just done on this, seems as if the Ikwezi Mining Company has had a mining right there on a massive piece of land. I'm not sure if they know that over 12 hectares of their land and other communities around, there's a mining right that belongs to this company that was issued by DMR in 2012. And it is quite a surprising development, but it's not new. It happens to many communities around South Africa.
Wait, so Prof, you're saying the company was granted mining rights in 2012. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's an existing mining right and over many properties, not just this particular property. I think about 14, or more than that, actually. It's about around maybe 12 hectares, 12,000 hectares of land. This is what happens most of the time. The communities get shocked because maybe during the consultation, they may not have been consulted properly. Even if there was an environmental authorization or a Section 10 consultation whereby the applicant of the mining right has to consult with the community, even if that took place, they may have been told that actually, no, your land will not be affected by this, so you are not part of this discussion, if they were consulted at all. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just quoting from other examples across South Africa. People get shocked when they find out there is drilling over their land, and they find out that actually the mining right also reaches over their land and even goes beyond their land without their knowledge.
So when mining rights are granted to a company, it's over a large part of a particular area or even province. Is that right?
Yes. I mean, this mining right is huge. Ikwezi Mining Company has, if that mining, unless, this is a document I saw from 2012. They may have even applied to extend the mining right without the community knowing it. It might be. I'm not saying they've done so, but it happened. It happens. It's a sad development.
Oh wow!
And
so as aggrieved as the family obviously feels, because there's been very little consultation with them, very little discussion with them, outside of the fact of these people just showing up. You can see that they're also armed. I mean, the people who are conducting this drilling and this exploration, they're also quite heavily armed. And so it's obviously like it's a shocking thing to be faced with. Unknowingly, your land falls under the mining rights of a company you've never heard of, and they are drilling, and there are vehicles and various equipment drilling into your land.
Yes, and this happens because of the power dynamics. Remember, mining companies have got so much power. They've got access to legal resources that communities do not have access to. I mean, they have access to private security. And this is what has been happening in many parts of the Northwest and Limpopo where I've worked, where you find out a lot of grazing land gets fenced off, and other forms of land that people have been types of land that people have been using for centuries, get fenced off without their knowledge, and there are armed private security companies that are chasing their livestock out, and people get threatened and get arrested. And in most instances, in fact, especially in the former homelands where land is apparently held by chiefs, in most instances, the mining companies deal with chiefs directly and do not directly deal with the landholders themselves.
So, Prof, you're saying that the family, the Mavimbela family, who we've spoken to quite extensively with our reporter in the province, that they have no rights in this situation, if indeed it is that Ikwezi has the mining rights to their property?
Well, the property in question, they do have mining rights to that property, I saw.
Right.
And I mean, if this is, I mean, I know even the number of the mining right is stated there. It's easy to find out. I mean, for like me, you see what they can do at this stage. They should request. I mean, through their lawyers. I don't know whether they have those resources. The mining work program, because the mine is supposed to submit a mining work program to DMR and to the landholder. I mean, to the landowners. That is a program that shows the entire extent of the land that is going to be covered by the mining right, and also the environmental management plan. So that would help them to get the idea of the extent to which their land has been covered by the mining right area, or is being part of the mining right area. And unfortunately, you know, quite often, I mean, what happens is that there's usually a court notice that is released by the regional office of the DMR, and then a few notices in the court. That is, if the people are able to visit the court every day to check if there's a notice for prospecting or for a mining right over land. So people don't really have those resources, and they're not expecting that. And they are supposed to object within 30 days, you know. And then if they have not objected, I mean, this was 2012 already. So now they can't file a Section 10 rejection, which they could have done, I mean, if they were thoroughly informed, you know, in time. And that is done within a matter of days. And usually in this, I don't know whether this happened in this case. It's likely that in this case, this didn't happen. They were not informed, and the mining right was granted without a proper consultation of the owners of the land. And it is said.
It certainly seems like a process that is unfair and skewed towards the benefit of the mining companies, doesn't it?
Yes. And I mean, for one mining company to have such, I mean, to have a mining right to that extent, really one needs to go deeper into this. And I mean, of course, the type of the language used in these letters as well, and in these notices, most of the rural people cannot access that language, and I mean, do not understand what is wrong. It's usually not written in an African language as well, in a language that they can understand. And the process is very technical as well. So they need legal support, which they usually do not have access to. And mining companies have that in abundance, and they've got a lot of power as well. And the DMR is not paying or doing its due diligence in protecting the land right holders who are, I'm going to say it out, who are black in this country. I mean, this is what I call the dispossession of the dispossessed. I've termed it like that in places where I've worked, and I've seen people being chased out of their land, being forcefully relocated, losing farming land that they have used to sustain their livelihood for centuries. And it is a sad development in South Africa. We are not saying that mining is not important for the economy, but the way and the manner in which it is happening, and especially when poor people who had been historically dispossessed in this land are being dispossessed again in this form. It is a sad development to watch.
Professor Sonwabile Mnwana, let me thank you for your time this afternoon and for that perspective, Professor of Development Studies at Rhodes University.